Welcome to the Uncanny Valley podcast. Today, we're embarking on, well, a really rich and detailed exploration into a world that's just teeming with character, domestic life, and some pretty profound personal growth. This isn't just about retelling a story. It's more of a deep analysis looking at how these seemingly small moments end up shaping, vast destinies.
Indeed, and we've got this fantastic collection of source material to work with. It gives us a really intimate look into the lives of one particular family. We get to see their struggles, their triumphs, and well, the deep bonds that hold them together. So our goal here really is to dig into that, to carefully pull out the most poignant insights, the surprising facts from these narratives.
Yeah, find those key insights.
And guide you through it all, help illuminate that path to being, well, truly well-informed about this timeless human journey, self-discovery connection.
Right. It's a custom-tailored exploration, really. A shortcut, maybe, to understanding what truly matters in these incredibly rich sources.
So let's start at the beginning. We'll begin by looking at the very foundations of character and community within this family, the March family. We'll focus on their early interactions, the whole atmosphere of their home, because it's right there in those initial scenes that the author, Louisa May Alcott, she just masterfully sets the stage for everything that follows.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Those early glimpses around Christmas preparations, their playful moments, the sources paint such a vivid picture right from the get-go. And it's amazing how quickly you grasp each sister's core essence.
It really is.
You've got Beth, quietly toasting bread for tea. Her gentle nature is just immediately obvious. Then there's Jo marching up and down, hands behind her back, nose in the air, just overflowing with this energetic enthusiasm, especially for writing plays.
Oh, definitely.
And Meg, she's already showing that growing self-awareness about her age, saying she doesn't mean to act anymore after this time. These aren't just descriptions, are they? They feel like immediate character revelations.
Yeah.
Alcott uses these little domestic scenes to instantly establish their personalities, their family dynamic. It's subtle, but really powerful.
And what's fascinating, I think, is how these small, almost mundane actions immediately establish those individual traits, but also kind of foreshadow their future paths. Jo's dramatic flair, for instance, it's really highlighted when we look at their operatic tragedy, The Witch's Curse.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
It does. Her whole creative process, her ability to write and act these splendid things.
Right, Beth even calls her a regular Shakespeare, doesn't she? It's
Exactly. And that belief from Beth, that she firmly believed that her sisters were gifted with wonderful genius in all things, that's key. It's not just a cute detail. It shows the deep admiration and support within the family. That's crucial for their development, And it shows Jo's imagination as this primary outlet for all her energy and emotion.
And the acting itself. The descriptions are just so specific and, well, hilarious. They really bring the scene to life. Jo apparently jerked herself along as if she went by machinery. And her dramatic ow sounded more like pins being run into her than of fear and anguish. It's brilliant. And the play sounds like this glorious, chaotic masterpiece. Don Pedro's 2-page speech, no breaks.
Can you imagine?
Hagar the witch doing her awful incantation over her kettle full of simmering toads, Rodrigo tearing chains asunder manfully, and Hugo dying in agony from remorse and arsenic with a wild ha-ha. It just sounds like pure, unadulterated fun. And that casual atmosphere during rehearsals tells you so much. Meg laughing uncontrollably, Beth letting her toast burn because she's so caught up in watching.
It really does. It highlights how vital imaginative play is in their lives. It's not just fun, it's how they process things, express creativity, and strengthen those sisterly bonds.
Yeah.
Through shared delight, working together. It also showcases their innocence, their energy before the heavier stuff starts happening.
Yeah. That playful chaos. It's like a testament to their vibrant inner world. And it perfectly sets the stage for Marmee's return. She arrives, described as this tall, motherly lady with a "can I help you" look about her, which was truly delightful.
Yes, and even though her dress is plain, her bonnet unfashionable, the girls see her as the most splendid mother in the world. Her presence immediately shifts the energy in the room. It brings comfort, a sense of grounding, that gentle guidance.
It's more than just a mother coming home, isn't it? It's like the emotional anchor of the family is back. This figure who embodies strength, compassion, practical wisdom, even in her simplicity. And that plain dress contrasting with her noble presence, it subtly highlights the family's values, where character trumps outward appearances.
Exactly. And speaking of comfort, that moment with Father's letter is so beautifully resonant. Mrs. March has this particularly happy face, a quick, bright smile spreads, and the girls instantly know what it means. A letter. A letter. 3 cheers for Father.
You can just feel the excitement.
Absolutely. The letter itself conveys his well-being, his hopes for the cold season, loving wishes for Christmas, and is a special message just for the girls. And most poignantly, it expresses his longing for them. He encourages them to be little pilgrims on a journey towards a true celestial city.
And that message, it isn't just sentimental fluff, is it? It's like the spiritual framework for their whole story. This little pilgrim's idea, it's a direct nod to Bunyan's Pilgrim's Progress, right?
Right.
That allegory where life is this challenging journey with moral trials.
Precisely. That framing immediately establishes the ethical lens through which the March family is encouraged to navigate their world. They're meant to see their daily struggles as steps on a path toward moral and spiritual fulfillment. It's really foundational to their upbringing, a constant reminder of a higher purpose.
Which leads perfectly into this concept of carrying a burden, doesn't it? Just like Christian in Pilgrim's Progress carrying his load. It sets up the next point,
Okay.
the personal burdens and the emerging individualities of each sister.
Yes. As they gather around the table, Marmie's gentle probing, it's not harsh, it's sympathetic. It draws out these unique, deeply personal confessions from each daughter. It's a moment of tender self-reflection, guided by their mother. It shows how well she understands their inner lives. And just vocalizing those struggles is so important for their emotional growth, their self-awareness.
And this is where we get such a clear window into their individual minds. Especially with Beth's burden, it's remarkably poignant. When Marmee asks, she quietly confesses hers is dishes and dusters and envying girls with nice pianos and being afraid of people. And the family's response was so crucial here. Everyone wanted to laugh because it seemed like such a funny one, but nobody did, for it would have hurt her feelings very much.
That's not just politeness, is it? It shows their deep understanding, their protection of Beth's sensitive, introverted nature. They acknowledge her quiet struggles are just as valid. Absolutely. Her burden, unlike the others, is so internal, rooted in quiet longing, social anxiety. It highlights her unique vulnerability and the family's collective empathy. It's a subtle but powerful statement about valuing, well, all types of human experience.
Then you have Meg's interpretation of the burden. It's quite insightful, but also very practical. She sees it as another name for trying to be good. And she believes finding guidance in the story, Pilgrim's Progress, again, is like Christian having his role of directions.
Yes, that reveals Meg's tendency towards practicality, her reliance on established moral frameworks. Her approach is less introspective, maybe, and more about following a set path. It contrasts nicely with Jo's impulsiveness or Amy's more external struggles. It really highlights her role as the sensible older sister seeking clear guidance.
And then there's Amy. Her early challenges with self-image and art are fascinating. She has this deep desire for a Grecian nose, even though hers is flat, apparently, and her talent for drawing handsome ones is her way of consoling herself.
Which isn't just vanity, right? It's an early sign of her artistic sensibilities, her aspiration for beauty and refinement that becomes so central to her later on.
Definitely. And she suffers so much over unbecoming gowns and fussy aprons because her cousin's mother has not a particle of taste. It highlights her innate desire for elegance, her sensitivity to aesthetics. Yes, it's sometimes superficial, but it's also genuinely part of her artistic soul. It's her unique struggle with appearances and how they match up with her internal goals.
And tying this all back to that pervasive theme of pilgrimage, the power of literature and moral guidance is made explicit with those books they find under their pillows on Christmas morning. The crimson-covered book and the green-covered book described as a true guidebook for any pilgrim going on a long journey.
Such a direct symbol.
Exactly. It's not just a decorative detail. It underscores the moral and intellectual framework of their family life. It's a testament to the idea that true guidance comes not from wealth or status, but from internal virtues, from wisdom found in stories and reflection. Those books are like constant, silent mentors shaping their character right from the start.
So what does this all mean for their character? It's not just about what they get, but what they do, isn't it? Especially given their upbringing. Which brings us perfectly to the spirit of giving and those simple joys on Christmas morning.
Right. Their gifts, for example, are delightfully simple. Handkerchiefs marked by Beth, cologne adorned by Amy, all collected in this humble basket. That simplicity is deliberate. It contrasts with societal expectations of material gifts. It emphasizes thoughtfulness, personal effort, not monetary value, as the real measure of affection in their family.
And then the pivotal decision to share their Christmas breakfast. That's such a profound moment, prompted by Mrs. March's compassion for the poor Hummels, this neighboring family in really dire straits.
Mm-hmm. And it's not just charity, is it? It's a direct application of their mother's teachings, that whole pilgrim metaphor. Self-sacrifice, generosity. These are steps toward that true celestial city. It immediately puts their moral framework into action, empathy over self-indulgence. It's a core lesson in altruism, moving from theory to immediate practical impact.
And the girls' actions are just so heartwarming. They spread the table, set the Hummel children by the fire, fed them like so many hungry birds. They even try to understand the funny broken English, das ist gut. Die Engelkinder.
That engagement, even with the language barrier, speaks volumes about their genuine warmth, their lack of condescension. It's an immersion in someone else's struggle, not just giving from a distance. It solidifies their connection to the community beyond their own home, and it shows a kind of blossoming global perspective, even in that humble setting.
And the impact of being called angel children, die Engelkinder, especially for Jo. Apparently, she'd been considered a Sancho ever since she was born. That's a reference to Sancho Panza, Don Quixote's sort of earthy, clumsy squire, right?
Exactly. So this unexpected compliment, it challenges Jo's self-perception as the rough and tumble tomboy. It offers a glimpse of the softer, angelic side she rarely gets credit for. It's a moment of unexpected affirmation that shifts her internal story a bit. It highlights how powerful external validation can be in shaping self-image, especially for a spirit as, well, boisterous as Jo's.
The lasting feeling of the act itself is really touching, and it's such a powerful takeaway. The sources say, not in all the city thief or merrier people than the hungry little girls who gave away their breakfasts. And Meg's simple, heartfelt conclusion sums it up. That's loving our neighbor better than ourselves, and I like it. This isn't just a good deed, it's a revelation. They find intrinsic joy in selflessness. It shows that real happiness doesn't come from stuff or comfort, but from compassion, from connection.
It's a foundational lesson for their whole future, their emotional and moral landscape. It really proves that old idea, doesn't it? It's more blessed to give than to receive.
Okay, so moving beyond the immediate family circle now, our next section gets into how the March sisters start expanding their horizons. They're navigating friendships, society, facing these early lessons that really shape their understanding of the wider world.
Yes, this phase introduces new people, new challenges, starting with Meg's party and that pivotal introduction of Theodore Lawrence, or Laurie, as we come to know him. Meg faces that classic social challenge, tight slippers causing agony, yet she smiled through it.
Oh, the things we do.
Exactly. It's not just about shoes, is it? It's an early glimpse into the societal expectations placed on young women then. The discomfort endured for appearances. And Meg's growing awareness of how to navigate these social situations, it kind of foreshadows her later struggles with vanity versus practicality.
And Jo's reaction is such a great contrast. Her typical avoidance of formal society, it's delightful. She slips into a curtain recess to get away from some big red-headed youth.
Classic Jo.
Only to bump right into the Lawrence boy, Laurie. It's just such a Jo move, showing her discomfort with conventional social stuff. But their conversation, it quickly puts Laurie at ease.
Well,
it's amazing how fast their bond forms.
it is. And he shares these details about his school in Vevey, Switzerland, where boys never wore hats, had a fleet of boats on the lake, went on walking trips about Switzerland with their teachers, and his winter in Paris, where they were not allowed to speak anything else at Vevey.
Sounds quite different from Concord.
Very. These details immediately establish him as worldly, but they also hint at maybe a structured, perhaps lonely existence before meeting the Marches. It highlights the huge differences in their upbringings, yet somehow their personalities just click and bridge that gap instantly.
And Laurie's gentlemanly behavior is established right away. He helps Meg after she sprains her ankle, carries her home, offers Jo coffee later. These aren't just polite gestures. They show his empathetic nature, his capacity for real connection, traits that become crucial to his deep bonds with all the sisters.
Absolutely. And this first social outing also sets up Meg's future social aspirations, doesn't it? That invitation to spend a week with Annie Moffat, linked to the opera. It highlights her yearning for a more glamorous, affluent life. It's subtle, but it's an important marker for her character arc, her occasional pull towards worldly pleasures.
This leads into a really pivotal moment, I think. Jo's bold, sort of neighborly spirit pushing her to visit Laurie. She sees him all alone and sick in that grand house next door, and she just feels this urge to be somebody young and lively for him. It completely embodies her daring, unconventional nature.
It really does. It's not just curiosity, it's deep compassion. Defying social norms for a young girl to visit a young man unchaperoned back then. It highlights her innate drive to connect, to break down barriers, provide comfort where she sees loneliness, regardless of what's considered proper.
And her approach is so Joe. That snowball she throws at his window, perfect icebreaker, causes an immediate brightening of Laurie's face.
Instantly dismantles the formal barriers between their very different worlds. And her uninvited entry into the Lawrence house, her first impression is what richness. But then she playfully tidies the room, whisks things into place, gives it quite a different air. That casual transformation of the space is symbolic, isn't it? Of how Jo herself will bring warmth, life, a touch of joyful chaos into Laurie's ordered but solitary life.
And Laurie's confession, a fellow can't live on books. That hits hard. Expressing his loneliness despite all his privilege, it instantly makes him vulnerable, open to Jo's directness and genuine connection. That line resonates, speaks to that universal human need for companionship, shared experience that books alone can't fill.
It's a huge moment of revelation for Laurie, acknowledging a void he hadn't maybe fully recognized until Jo just burst into his world. Then, the arrival of Mr. Lawrence, Laurie's stern grandfather, that creates immediate tension.
Yeah, Jo admits she's a little bit afraid of him. But her keen observation, he's got kind eyes, though his mouth is grim. It reveals her intuition, her ability to see character beneath the surface.
Wow. Exactly. And that observation leads to Mr. Lawrence's silent assessment. He notes the color, light, and life in Laurie's face, the vivacity, the genuine merriment Jo has brought. And his conclusion is so significant, transformative. She's right. The lad is lonely. I'll see what these little girls can do for him. That moment breaks down the barriers of class, of sternness. Mr. Lawrence, this man of deep observation, recognizes the value of the March girls' influence.
But there's that initial hurdle, isn't there? Rooted in their poverty, their pride. The March girls were shy of accepting favors because they couldn't easily return them. It highlights that subtle class dynamic that could have stopped the friendship before it started. Shows the quiet dignity they carried despite their circumstances.
Precisely. But Laurie's perspective flips that dynamic completely. And that's crucial. He considered them the benefactors. He was grateful for Mrs. March's motherly welcome, their cheerful society, the comfort he took in that humble home. That perception isn't just politeness. It's a deep recognition that the Marches offered something far more valuable than money. Genuine human connection, warmth, joy. That mutual respect, that gratitude, it cemented their relationship, bridging the wealth gap with affection and camaraderie.
And what a bridge it turned out to be. This shared comfort, this connection, it led straight to forming the Pickwick Club, which is this brilliant early example of self-governance, structured fun, and it just showcases their individual personalities and their collective creativity.
It really does. The members adopted specific roles, didn't they? Meg as Samuel Pickwick, the leader. Jo, naturally, Augustus Snodgrass, the poet. Beth was Tracy Tupman because she was round and rosy and cheerful. And Amy, who was always trying to do what she couldn't, was Nathaniel Winkle, the clumsy one.
These roles aren't random, are they? They're like playful exaggerations of their core traits, lets them explore identities, enjoy creating something together.
And their weekly newspaper, the Pickwick Portfolio, Jo, who reveled in pens and ink, was the dedicated editor. The humorous content gives us so much insight into their world, their wit, their daily observations. That riddle, why is the PC like the Tower of Babel? It is full of unruly members.
That hints at their spirited, maybe slightly chaotic nature.
Definitely. And other contributions like the history of a squash, a lament for SB Pat Paw, their cat. They even ran these whimsical ads for community events. Miss Orinthy Bluggage's lecture, cooking lessons by Hannah Brown, the Dustpan Society. It just shows their vibrant imaginations, finding humor and structure in everyday life, fostering creativity and a sense of shared purpose.
Laurie's induction into the club is a standout moment too, largely thanks to Beth, actually. Her unexpected spirited burst where she declares, "We ought to do it even if we are afraid."
That small act of courage from timid Beth is powerful, isn't it? It encourages the others, especially Jo, who's naturally thrilled, leads to that unanimous I, signifies their collective acceptance, breaking down any last social barriers. It's a lovely moment of inclusion, started by the quietest sister.
And the funny incident where Laurie's found hiding in the cupboard and invited to join, and his Weller-esque nod Like Sam Weller from Dickens.
Yeah, that knowing, witty acknowledgement, it solidifies his place. He vows to devote myself to the interest of this immortal club. He fully embraces their playful world. And the club had that post office feature too, initially secret, but famously foreshadowing how many love letters that little post office would hold in the years to come. A subtle hint of the deeper emotional connections brewing, turning youthful play into eventually mature romance.
Now, this exploration of character wouldn't be complete without touching on two contrasting but equally formative experiences: Beth's prized gift and Amy's painful lesson. Beth's quiet longing for a piano is just heartbreakingly poignant.
It really is.
She practiced persistently on that jingling old instrument, wiping tears from the yellow keys because it wouldn't stay in tune. Her deep love for music was so clear, even if her quiet nature often hid her deepest desires. It's not just wanting an instrument, it's a yearning for expression, for beauty, for the means to fully engage with her passion. Makes the eventual gift even more meaningful.
And Mr. Lawrence's thoughtful gift of that little cabinet piano with cunning brackets to hold candles and nice green silk, it was such a personal gesture. Showed his growing affection, his deep understanding of Beth's quiet spirit. Beth's reaction turning pale with delight and surprise, and then overcoming her usual timidity to approach Mr. Lawrence, give him that confiding little kiss. It just melted his crustiness.
Made him feel as if he had got his own little granddaughter back again.
Exactly. It's a beautiful moment where pure, innocent love just conquers fear, melts the defenses of the stern old man, reveals his hidden tenderness, the transformative power of a simple, heartfelt connection.
But then, in stark contrast, you have Amy's public humiliation at school, a painful but formative lesson she carries for years. Mr. Davis, described as cross as a bear and nervous as a witch, inflicts these tingling blows on her little palm for some minor rule breaking.
And it's not just about discipline, it's a profound violation for Amy. She'd only ever known loving guidance at home. The sources really emphasized the lasting impact. For the first time in her life, she had been struck, and the disgrace in her eyes was as deep as if he had knocked her down. The shame and pain which she never forgot, that speaks volumes, especially since she had been governed by love alone for her first 12 years.
It's a harsh lesson, isn't it? About social injustice, the power dynamics outside her sheltered home. Forces her to confront vulnerability, humiliation, in a way her sisters hadn't yet.
It's a crucial step in her character development. Prompts her to develop resilience, a deeper understanding of the world's complexities.
Okay, so as we continue tracing the March family's journey, we enter this period that's really defined by trials, by sacrifices, and by a deepening understanding of what home truly means, moving beyond maybe idealized visions to the practical realities of life.
Yes, and this section kicks off with a look at their experiments in leisure and housekeeping. That idea of a 3 months vacation initially thrilled the girls. Freedom from chores, studies. Meg wanted to lie abed late and do nothing. Joe planned to read a heap of books.
Sounds familiar, that youthful idealism before you hit the reality of too much free time.
Exactly. It reflects that common tendency to equate freedom with pure idleness, a notion Alcott subtly challenges here. But Mrs. March, with her pragmatic wisdom, her subtle teaching methods, she offers that gentle warning. All play and no work is as bad as all work and no play.
And of course, she was right. The predictable outcome. Meg spoils her clothes, trying to furbish them up a la Moffat. Joe gets sick of books, becomes so fidgety that even good-natured Laurie had a quarrel with her. Even Beth struggles, shaking her doll Joanna in frustration. And Amy, with her small resources, finds her accomplished and important little self a great burden when left to amuse herself.
It vividly illustrates that real contentment needs balance, purpose, contribution, not just idleness. It's a universal lesson about the deceptive nature of unlimited freedom when it's detached from responsibility.
And the infamous dinner party. Oh, that's a memorable, comically disastrous example of their domestic shortcomings when left unsupervised. Joe's scorched omelet, the biscuit speckled with saleratus, paints a very clear picture.
Doesn't it just? And Mrs. March's motherly little deception, discreetly getting rid of the bad food so that their feelings might not be hurt.
Very kind, but also instructive.
Exactly. It highlights her compassionate yet effective parenting, avoids direct criticism for a more impactful, learn-by-doing lesson. The underlying point was clear. Mrs. March wanted them to see how the comfort of all depends on each doing her share faithfully. It subtly teaches them the value of practical skills, the interdependence in a household. Even small tasks matter for everyone's well-being.
Which brings us to a really profound moment. Joe's ultimate sacrifice and its ripple effects. The family was already under serious financial strain, wasn't it? Mr. March having lost his property earlier. That led the older girls to seek work, Meg as a governess, Joe in Aunt March's library.
Yes, that background of genteel poverty makes their daily struggles and the eventual sacrifices all the more poignant. It highlights the economic realities facing women back then.
And the critical need arises when father has a relapse in Washington. Mrs. March has to go to him, an urgent situation needing immediate funds. And in that crisis, Joe's bold act, selling her abundant hair for $25, a true sacrifice.
Oh, absolutely. It wasn't just a haircut, it was symbolically cutting off her one beauty. A defiant rejection of vanity for a higher purpose. It shows her deep love for her family, her impulsive, courageous nature, willing to go to extremes to help. It's a powerful testament to her growing maturity, her selflessness.
And the family's reaction, an outcry of shock and sorrow. Your beautiful hair. Oh, Joe, how could you? You're one beauty. That collective gasp shows how deeply her hair was tied to her identity, her beauty in their eyes, makes the sacrifice even starker.
But Mrs. March's comforting words are key. You needn't feel wicked, my child. You had no winter things and got the simplest with your own hard earnings. That affirmation, it validates Joe's decision, warms her heart. That maternal validation underscores the moral rightness of her act, transforms a perceived loss into a profound act of love and integrity.
The emotional aftermath of Marmee leaving was huge, wasn't it? Left a real void. Joe felt as if there had been an earthquake. Meg felt half the house was gone.
That imagery powerfully conveys Marmee's central role, the family's emotional and practical bedrock. And Beth's quiet gesture, pointing to a pile of Mother's nicely mended hose on the table, showing that even in her last hurried moments she had thought and worked for them. That went straight to their hearts. Emphasizes her silent strength, her observation, a subtle reminder of the unseen labor of love that keeps a family going.
And life without Marmee proved really tough. Meg's letters detailed their struggles, keeping the house running, keeping spirits up, but they also highlighted the support network. Mr. Lawrence watching over them like a motherly old hand, Lori being very kind and neighborly, offering practical help, company.
And Joe, too, faced her own internal battle with her quick temper during that stressful time, acknowledging that all the troubles came in a heap and I got the heaviest part on my shoulders. This period really tests their resilience, forces them into new roles, reveals their individual coping styles and the collective strength they draw from their community, from each other. It shows how character is forged in adversity.
Which brings us to another significant trial. Beth's scarlet fever and Amy's resulting time with Aunt March. Beth's illness came directly from her selfless charity visits to the Hummels, didn't it? Visiting their sick baby. Tragically highlights the risks in their compassionate work.
It does. And Hannah, the housekeeper, initially tried to reassure them, saying, everyone had scarlet fever, and if rightly treated, nobody died. But her worried look betrayed her real anxiety, underscores how serious the threat was, heightens attention.
Amy's reaction to being sent to Aunt March's is one of those wonderfully dramatic but totally understandable childhood moments. She passionately declared she'd rather have the fever than go to Aunt March. Shows her fear of that stern, demanding environment.
Definitely. And Laurie, in a moment of gentle persuasion, real empathy, gives her an approving pat, convinces her to go. He acts as this calming, reassuring presence for the youngest sister. That small interaction underscores Laurie's growing maturity, his unique ability to connect with each sister on her own terms.
And when asked who she wanted to care for her, quiet Beth leaned her head against her sister and chose Joe. Settled matter right there.
That choice reveals Beth's deep trust in Joe, despite Joe's, well, sometimes boisterous nature. And Joe, despite feeling all at sea initially with the demands of nursing, she commits herself completely, shows immense devotion, a surprising capacity for gentle care. That period of intense, self-sacrificing nursing highlights Joe's deep love for Beth, her growth from impulsive tomboy to responsible, compassionate caregiver. It's a transformative experience for Joe, revealing a depth of tenderness she maybe hadn't fully recognized in herself.
Meanwhile, Amy's exile with Aunt March becomes this period of significant, though challenging, personal growth. She initially feels deep loneliness, realizes for the first time how much she was beloved and petted at home. That realization is crucial for Amy, forces her to confront her own perceived importance, the comfort she'd taken for granted.
And Aunt March's demanding routines were no joke for Amy. Washing cups, polishing silver, dusting intricate furniture with claw legs and much carving, which was never dusted to suit Aunt March's standards. Even feeding Polly the parrot, who'd squawk things like, "Go away, no boys allowed here." Humorous, but a challenging backdrop.
Sounds trying.
But Esther, Aunt March's pious maid, provided a calming influence, advised Amy to meditate and pray, arranged a little dressing room for solace. This period of enforced discipline, quiet reflection, proves crucial. Amy develops patience, humility, a deeper appreciation for simple kindness. And it's during this time that Esther secretly reveals Aunt March's will. The family treasures, including pearls for the first affianced, would go to the girls. Amy, with her typical impatience, wishes she could have them now, a brief glimpse of her lingering youthful desire for immediate gratification, right alongside her newfound maturity.
The turning point for Beth finally comes with Hannah's joyful announcement. The fever's turned, she's sleeping natural, later confirmed by the doctor. The little girl will pull through this time. The relief must have been immense.
Palpable. And the culmination of this harrowing period is Mrs. March's triumphant return. The sound of bells, Laurie's joyful whisper, "She's come, she's come." The immense relief felt by everyone marks such a poignant end to that challenging chapter. Her return isn't just physical, it's the restoration of their emotional balance, a powerful affirmation of family unity, the comfort of a mother's presence after so much anxiety. It symbolizes hope, renewal.
So as the March sisters continue to grow, their lives are increasingly shaped by these tides of affection. Love, loss, changing hearts. This next section explores their romantic developments, their profound personal transformations, shows how those youthful dreams mature into adult realities.
Yes, we pick up 3 years later. Mr. March is safely home, symbolizing the family unit fully restored. John Brooke, Meg's suitor, has settled into steady work as a bookkeeper, and it's notable he chose honest earnings over Mr. Lawrence's more generous offers. That choice reflects his integrity, his independence, his quiet determination to provide for Meg on his own terms, sets a strong moral foundation for their marriage. It's a subtle but significant statement about character over quick wealth.
And Meg's journey to marriage and domestic life is such a clear example of changing hearts, shifting priorities. Initially, she can't help comparing her modest situation to Sally Gardner's lavish wedding, secretly wishing for similar splendor. That human tendency towards envy, that struggle with societal expectations, it's so relatable.
But her perspective shifts. She actively overcomes that envy, that discontent, by focusing on John's patient love and labor in building their little home. Her future, once maybe uncertain or tinged with longing, becomes beautiful and bright when she fully embraces the simple, profound joy of sharing it with him. That transformation highlights her maturity, choosing contentment, genuine affection, over superficial display.
Their wedding day itself is a beautiful testament to this shift in Meg's values. The simplicity of the Jean roses over the porch, Meg's self-assured decision, my little wedding just as I like it. Her practical involvement, even helping John with his hammer, underscores her contentment, her active role in building their life together.
And the modest wedding feast, plentiful lunch of cake and fruit, with just water, lemonade, and coffee. It further highlights their values over showiness. This quiet celebration is symbolic of a marriage built on love, mutual effort, simplicity, rejecting the material excesses common at the time.
There's also that significant, maybe surprising moment with Laurie pledging against wine. He promised Meg he'd abstain for the sake of others, sealed it with a handshake, earned Joe's beaming approval.
That act isn't just about personal temperance, is it? It's a powerful statement of his maturing character, shows his capacity for self-discipline, his growing awareness of his influence. This selfless commitment quietly underscores Mr. Lawrence's satisfaction with Laurie's character, seeing a young man truly evolving beyond his playful, sometimes reckless youth. And Meg's bridal journey, symbolically described as just a quiet walk with John from the old home to the new, perfectly encapsulates the simple, heartfelt beginning of their shared life, built on deep affection, not grand gestures.
Now, Laurie's mischief does provide some lighter moments. His nature as an incorrigible tease, his determination to uncover Joe's secret about Meg and Mr. Brooke.
Yes, that playful but sometimes ill-advised curiosity leads to his cunning plan with the fake love letters. A prank born of youthful exuberance but with unintended consequences. Highlights his lingering immaturity, perhaps, despite his growing moral compass.
Meg's reaction to the letters is quite telling, exposes her insecurities. Initially frightened, then deeply shamed by having answered them. It was Mrs. March's wise intervention that calmed Meg, handled Laurie firmly but understandingly, prevented more conflict. Shows her steady influence as the family's moral guide.
And Laurie faced consequences. Mr. Lawrence punished him firmly for the prank, showed the old gentleman's resolve to guide his grandson towards true responsibility even through stern discipline, a crucial lesson for Laurie about the impact of his actions.
Joe's emotional struggle over Meg's engagement is so relatable, so poignant. She feels this profound sense of loss. I've lost my dearest friend. It can never be the same again.
It's not just about her sister marrying. It's about a fundamental shift in her world, a challenge to her fiercely independent spirit, her desire for things to stay the same. Highlights her struggle with the inevitability of change, the vulnerability that comes with deep affection.
But Laurie's steadfast support during this time really shines through, proves the strength of their unique bond. His heartfelt promise, "You've got me anyhow, I'll stand by you, Joe, all the days of my life." That forms the bedrock of their enduring, unique friendship, even as their paths diverge romantically.
It's a powerful testament to their deep platonic affection. A connection so profound it transcends conventional romance, becomes this source of unwavering loyalty, mutual understanding. It underscores the diverse forms love can take, the enduring power of true companionship.
Which takes us nicely to Amy's European growth and romantic developments, a period of really significant transformation for the youngest March sister. Her journey abroad with Aunt Carol is crucial for gaining polish, cultivating her aristocratic tastes.
This isn't superficial, is it? It's a genuine refinement of her artistic and social sensibilities, makes her more discerning, more confident in her own identity. She observes European society, notes the English writing in Rotten Row, describing them with charming wit as like, women in a toy Noah's Ark.
Huh? Love that.
And enjoys visits to the Louvre, other cultural sites. These experiences broaden her horizons, move her beyond Concord.
While abroad, she meets the Vaughan brothers, Fred and Frank. The serenade night sparks new feelings, leads to a proposal from Fred. But Amy makes this mature, deeply insightful decision to refuse Fred Vaughan, realizing that something more than money and position was needed to satisfy her new longing.
That is such a pivotal step for her, signifies a shift from youthful desires for social status to a deeper, more profound understanding of what makes for true happiness, real connection in a partner, a moment of profound self-awareness and integrity.
Meanwhile, Laurie's also abroad, going through these Byronic fits of gloom, showing a moody side.
Yes, that brooding, melancholic romanticism associated with Lord Byron, indicative of Laurie's lingering aimlessness, his unfulfilled passions after Joe's rejection, and it's Amy's pivotal lecture to Laurie that acts as the powerful catalyst for his change.
Right. Her blunt honesty, calling him lazy Lawrence, stating, "I despise you." Shocking, maybe, but necessary. Cuts through his self-pity with this clear-eyed assessment. She even uses her sketches, particularly one of Laurie taming a horse, to remind him of his active, spirited self, spurs his transformation.
It really highlights Amy's newfound strength, her perception, her powerful ability to challenge Laurie to become his best self. And this confrontation is exactly what Laurie needed. A stark mirror held up to his self-indulgence. Amy's words serve as that potent catalyst for him to overcome his apathy, resolve to do something splendid, find purpose beyond his inheritance.
The evolution of their relationship from there is beautifully portrayed. Growing from this crucible of honest critique, mutual growth, from their interactions at the Christmas ball in Nice to their quiet engagement on the lake, symbolized by that tender exchange. How well we pull together, don't we? Will you, Amy? Yes, Laurie.
It blossoms so organically. A testament to growth, the often unexpected path of true love, shows that sometimes the most profound connections emerge from shared challenges, mutual encouragement.
Now, we have to address a truly profound and heartbreaking part of the story. Beth's gentle decline and her lasting impact on the family. The family's growing awareness of her failing health is just heartbreakingly subtle at first. Mrs. March worried about her spirits, Joe observing her fading bright color, small signs deepening the family's quiet dread.
It illustrates the quiet, insidious nature of illness and the family's collective struggle to accept the inevitable.
Joe's initial misinterpretation of Beth's sorrow, mistakenly thinking Beth loves Laurie, that reveals her own protective instincts, her deep, sometimes misdirected care for her sister. It's a poignant human moment, isn't it? Shows how even those closest can sometimes misunderstand the deeper currents of grief, acceptance, flowing within someone else. Also underscores Joe's own grappling with romance, her inability to fully grasp Beth's more ethereal nature.
Beth, however, shows remarkable strength, spiritual peace in her quiet acceptance of her fate. Her desire to have no secrets, to prepare her family for her passing. It's incredibly moving. This isn't resignation, it's a profound act of love. Sparing her family the shock, allowing them to grieve, cherish their final moments. Highlights her gentle wisdom, her deep spiritual connection that lets her face death with serenity.
And Joe's unwavering devotion during this time is particularly striking, deeply transformative for her. She never left her for an hour, slept on a couch in the room, constantly tending to Beth. The sources describe this period as precious and helpful hours to Jo, for now her heart received the teaching that it needed.
That's not just factual, it's a powerful statement about Jo's profound internal growth. Through this selfless nursing, Jo learns patience, tenderness, a deeper form of love than she'd understood before. It tempers her wild spirit with profound empathy, quiet devotion, a spiritual crucible for her, shaping her emotional landscape for years.
Beth's heartfelt poem, written for her family, expressing her acceptance, great loss becomes my gain, finding comfort, a new trust in the unseen.
Yes, the sources describe the lines as blurred and blotted, faulty and feeble, yet they brought inexpressible comfort to Beth, confirmed her life had purpose, a peaceful spiritual path. That poem is her final gift, a message of enduring love, the transformative power of faith facing suffering, leaves this lasting legacy of tranquility, spiritual grace for her family.
Her peaceful passing is described with such beautiful, tender imagery, gives a sense of quiet serenity amidst the sorrow. Snowdrops blossom freshly at the window. Spring sunshine streamed in like a benediction over the placid face upon the pillow.
That natural imagery frames her death not as an end, but as a gentle transition, a natural part of life's cycle. Infuses the sorrow with a sense of peace. The sad news reaches Amy late, still abroad, highlighting that painful distance, the delayed grief she'd face. It's a moment of quiet, powerful sorrow that leaves a lasting impression, a wound that never fully heals but profoundly shapes their future paths.
But from sorrow springs new life, doesn't it? Which brings us to our final section, new beginnings and legacies of love. Here we see the fulfillment of dreams, the true meaning of lasting happiness for the March family. Maybe not exactly as they first envisioned it, but something richer, more deeply satisfying.
Yes, we begin with Jo's artistic and emotional evolution after Beth's death. She struggles deeply, feels all alone, loses her heart to write. This period illustrates the profound impact grief has on creative expression, a common experience for artists. Her previous energy is quieted by loss, leaves her at a crossroads, personally and professionally.
Mrs. March, ever the wise guide, provides the gentle but firm encouragement. Why don't you write? That always used to make you happy. Go on. This prompts Jo's renewed writing journey, shifting from very mild romances for the spread eagle to these thrilling tales from police records and lunatic asylums, pursuing self-sufficiency as a serious, though maybe sensational, writer.
This period marks Jo's foray into the commercial writing world. She learns the discipline of the craft, the complexities of finding her voice, even if it means writing what sells, a practical step towards independence.
The turning point for her writing, her artistic integrity, comes with Professor Bare's quiet but impactful disapproval of her sensational stories, calls them moral poison.
And it's not a harsh judgment, is it? It's a deeply felt concern for the content, its impact. This criticism leads to a powerful decision. Jo burns her manuscripts, declares, "I don't know anything, I'll wait until I do before I try again." That act of artistic self-sacrifice shows her profound commitment to integrity over easy success, willing to give up financial gain for true artistic moral purpose, a pivotal moment in her intellectual, ethical development as a writer.
And the growing presence of Professor Bare in her life is so beautifully understated, gradually transformative. His simple kindness, like carrying coal for a servant girl, reveals his fundamental character, innate goodness, humility. Jo notes his fine head, despite his patched clothes, recognizes the substance beneath the unassuming exterior.
Yes, it highlights Jo's ability to see beyond the superficial, drawn instead to genuine character, intellect. Their interactions, especially with his nephews like Tina, who affectionately calls him Me Wants Me Bear, reveal his gentle, paternal nature, his capacity for deep affection. Contrasts with his often stern, scholarly look.
Jo's admiration for his genuine goodwill, his masculine intellect, the revelation of his past as a respected scholar, it deepens her respect, her affection. Their shared German lessons, a blend of earnestness and humor, become this source of profound enjoyment, intellectual learning for Jo. Fosters a unique connection built on shared curiosity, mutual respect. That intellectual companionship lays the groundwork for a truly fulfilling partnership.
But Jo also grapples with that internal conflict, doesn't she? That very human fear of being laughed at for surrendering to love, trying to quench her feelings for Professor Bare, reflects her fiercely independent nature, her deep-seated fear of vulnerability, especially after rejecting Laurie, given her unconventional spirit. This internal battle makes her eventual acceptance of love all the more meaningful, represents a profound surrender to her deepest emotions, embracing a path she once resisted.
Okay, let's turn to Meg. Her journey to domestic harmony, John's steadfast support, provides a grounded example of married life. Her initial challenges are candidly shown in the kitchen chaos when John brings home an unexpected guest, shows the practical difficulties of being a new homemaker, humanizes her experience beyond the idealized wedding.
Hmm. But the lesson learned about open communication becomes crucial for their marriage. She overcomes her folly of secretly buying that expensive silk dress, initially a source of conflict, by being honest with John. That moment, despite its initial pain, solidifies their bond through trust, mutual understanding. And Mrs. March's continued guidance, balancing love for kids with duty to husband, encouraging shared pursuits, proves invaluable. Shows successful domesticity requires ongoing effort, communication.
And the eventual harmony of their home is clear when even the Scotts and Sally Moffat find the Brooke home always so quiet and pleasant. A stark contrast to Sally's own splendid loneliness in her grand, materially rich house.
Exactly. Underscores that true contentment isn't in material splendor or social ambition, but in cultivating family love, peace, mutual respect. The Brooke home becomes a testament to the value of simplicity, genuine affection over outward show.
And what about Laurie and Amy? They establish this truly purposeful partnership, don't they? Evolving from youthful phases into a mature, complementary relationship. Laurie shows this newfound commitment to business, resolves to work like a man, prove he's not spoiled by wealth, a direct result of Amy's challenge in Europe, marks his full transformation from aimless youth to responsible adult, finding purpose in contribution.
And Amy, too, continues her artistic development. Those varied, sometimes comical attempts at different styles, Murillo, Rembrandt, Rubens, Turner, reflects her continuous striving for improvement, her dedication to her craft, even with humorous missteps. This artistic journey gives her a strong sense of identity, purpose beyond social graces.
Their shared philanthropic vision is particularly impactful, shows their deep maturity. They develop this keen desire to help poor gentlefolks, figuring out ways to offer aid so delicately that it does not offend.
That highlights their mature understanding of charity, ensuring dignity for recipients. Reflects not just generosity, but wisdom in navigating complex social dynamics. This thoughtful approach to giving further illustrates their mutual appreciation for each other's character. Amy thinking it takes a gentleman to do it, regarding Laurie's charitable spirit. They really are partners in purpose.
Which leads us beautifully to Joe and Professor Bear's quiet romance. Feels earned, deeply meaningful, built on intellectual companionship, mutual respect, not just youthful passion. The professor's brief return to the city, causing Joe to become very cross in his absence, subtly reveals the depth of her hidden feelings, how indispensable his presence has become to her happiness.
Yes, and the fateful encounter in the rainy street is just a perfect romantic moment, full of simple, genuine affection. Mr. Bear's concern for Joe, offering his umbrella, helping with bundles, sets the stage for his direct, honest proposal. I have nothing but much love to give you. I came to see if you could care for it.
That directness, no pretense, no flowery language, it suits Joe perfectly. Underscores the authenticity of their connection. Love built on profound respect, shared values, not fleeting infatuation.
And Joe's emotional response is wonderfully undignified, utterly heartfelt. That undignified creature answered with an irrepressible sob, "Because you are going away." That raw, honest outpouring captures her true feelings, overcomes her usual guardedness. Their candid discussion about Laurie follows, Joe clarifying, Teddy was only a boy and soon got over his little fancy, accepting her new name, Professorin, clears away any lingering ambiguities, lets them fully embrace their future based on honesty, understanding.
The intimate moment that follows is unexpected for Joe's typical formality, making it all the more powerful. She takes his hands, whispers, "Not empty now," and despite her usual reserve, kisses him under the umbrella, a beautiful, genuine expression of her love, full acceptance, a poignant culmination of her journey from fierce independence to embracing profound partnership, a quiet affirmation that her restless heart has finally found its true home.
And finally, we arrive at the beautiful fulfillment of dreams, Plumfield and lasting happiness. Joe's vision for Plumfield is clear. A good, happy, home-like school for little lads. Herself caring for them, Fritz, Professor Bear teaching, it's not just a school, it's a living embodiment of Joe's deepest values. Love for children, passion for education, desire to create a nurturing, unconventional home. Combines her intellectual spirit with her compassionate heart.
The family's enthusiastic support is immediate, collective. Mrs. Mark and Mr. March approve warmly. Laurie takes an active, crucial role, supporting the school financially. Truly becomes the sensible businessman doing heaps of good with your money. Joe proudly points at him. "There's your model, my lads." shows her profound respect for his contribution, his transformation. This collective effort underscores the deep family bonds, their shared commitment to a vision prioritizing values over wealth.
Plumfield becomes a resounding success. A full house, pets allowed, a place of teaching, care, and kindness, not some fashionable or wealth-generating place. It's a testament to their values. Proves true success isn't material gain, but nurturing individuals, fostering a joyful, ethical environment. Embodies the essence of the March family philosophy on a grander scale.
The yearly apple picking becomes this cherished tradition, a symbol of their thriving family unit. Marches, Lawrences, Brooks, Bears, all participating. That image of generations gathering, working, celebrating together under the autumn sky perfectly encapsulates their collective happiness, enduring interconnectedness. The sound of the boys singing Joe's song, composed by Laurie, trained by Professor Bear, echoing through the orchard, beautifully captures their collective happiness, the harmonious blend of their diverse talents, contributions, a symphony of lives well lived, intertwined with love and purpose.
And Mrs. March's ultimate reflection, gathering her children and grandchildren, it's the crowning sentiment of their journey, a powerful summation of a life richly lived. Oh, my girls, however long you may live, I never can wish you a greater happiness than this. It's a powerful encapsulation of their entire story, rooted in character, love, purpose, not conventional worldly success. A testament to the profound satisfaction found in building a life rich in meaningful relationships and principled actions.
What an incredible journey we've taken through the fabric of these lives. We've really seen how everyday experiences, the challenges, the joys, shape individual destinies and deepen those family bonds, ultimately leading to this profound sense of purpose.
It's truly remarkable to see how each character, despite their unique struggles and goals, Meg's domestic contentment, Joe's unconventional path as writer and educator, Beth's enduring sweetness, Amy's artistic and social evolution, how they all contribute to this larger tapestry of growth and fulfillment. They're castles in the air as they once imagined them. They transformed into something even richer, more real, grounded in authentic experience, not just fantasy.
Yeah, absolutely. The sources powerfully illustrate that true wealth, true happiness, they aren't found in external splendors or avoiding hardship, but in cultivating character, kindness, deep, meaningful connections.
Indeed. It's a powerful testament to the idea that purpose and love, rather than material gain, lead to the most profound, the most lasting satisfaction. The Mark family story ultimately reminds us, I think, that the most extraordinary lives are often built from ordinary moments, transformed by virtue and affection.
So as you reflect on their journey, maybe consider this. In a world that's constantly pushing us towards, grand achievements, external validations, what small daily acts of kindness, creativity, or self-sacrifice might you be overlooking as potential foundations for your own true celestial city? Thank you for joining us on this in-depth exploration. We hope you've discovered some surprising insights and maybe some new perspectives on this beloved narrative. Join us next time for another fascinating discussion on the Uncanny Valley podcast.